due to the fact that everyone on our team is quick. Ryan Martin of the Street Outlaws, who is renowned for his fierce racing prowess and sharp humor, has suffered a terrible tragedy that has left his admirers in shock. The dynamic racer has been profoundly impacted by a personal loss. However, what tragic incident has Martin experienced? And what effects has this had on his life? Come along as we examine the narrative. The way Street Outlaws won people over. Before time, Street Outlaws evolved into much more than just a show about fast cars and covert street races. What began as an exploration of the perilous realm of underground racing evolved into a captivating spectacle. The vibrant bunch of racers who had created their own universe full of risk, thrill, and fierce competition was what attracted so much attention. The excitement, the camaraderie, and the dangers that accompanied each race immediately captured the hearts of the audience. The show only became more popular as more people watched. As fans' passion for racing grew, it was not surprised that additional iterations of the show were created. Street Outlaws No Prep Kings is one of the most thrilling spin-offs. Viewers got something new from this one. Rather than competing on level prepped courses, the drivers had to navigate erratic roadways with little time for preparation. This implied that anything may happen and that every race was unexpected. Speed was no longer the only factor. It comes down to courage and fast thinking, and the strong vehicles that these racers put their lives in. To reach the finish line, each driver had to rely on their bravery and the might of their vehicle. It was more than just the fast cars and the bold races that made Street Outlaws and its spin-offs so unique. It was the reality of everything. Like the old road races people had read about in folklore, the races felt unadulterated and untamed. Supporters held their breath at every tight turn, yelled for the racers, and bonded with them. We now know a little bit about Street Outlaws. Let's examine Ryan, the star, and his journey to the renowned show. Ryan Martin's journey. On September 5, 1973, Ryan Martin was born in Ohio, USA. Nobody could have predicted when he was a little lad that he would go on to become a well-known street racer. Ryan wasn't the type of child you found near racetracks or automobiles back then. Rather, he liked things that were quiet and serene. He enjoyed taking pictures, painting, and drawing. These modest pastimes gave him a unique and imaginative perspective on the world. Ryan relished every second of the peaceful life in Ohio. Ryan's mother had a significant impact on his life. She brought him up to be calm, gentle, and patient in every circumstance. She taught him to maintain his composure and not let life's challenges destabilize him. She was unknowingly grooming him for a world full of fast-paced problems and roaring engines. Nobody knew as a child that Ryan would rise to prominence in street racing. His early years were filled with commonplace objects. One thing is certain: despite the paucity of information regarding those formative years, Ryan had a close relationship with his mother, who influenced the man he would grow up to be. Ryan's family relocated from Ohio to Oklahoma when he was still a child. One of the most significant events in his life would be this move. Ryan didn't immediately dive into the vibrant street racing culture in Oklahoma. He first became aware of fast automobiles and the thrill of racing in high school. Wasn't yet about celebrity or victory. It was just plain curiosity and an increasing fondness for strong engines. Ryan didn't have a beautiful racing car when he initially started. It was a 9.5-liter Mustang that had already undergone modifications, but it was ideal for a young guy who was ready to study and find his position. A spark was ignited inside him by that car, a passion that remained constant. Ryan's passion for automobiles only deepened over time. He began participating in neighborhood street races, observing, learning, and gradually assimilating into that fast-paced culture. Just racing wasn't enough for him. His goal was to gain a thorough understanding of the devices. His desire to study and grow inspired him to start B&R Performance, his own garage. He gained experience, respect, and wisdom while working on other racers' cars there. Garage aspirations to become a racing star. The tale of Ryan Martin is one of perseverance, enthusiasm, and consistent development. His passion for automobiles didn't start in the bright lights or on large racetracks. It all began in a modest garage where he worked diligently for years, gained knowledge, and gradually established his reputation. Ryan was a man who put his heart into every automobile he touched, long before television shows and roaring motors. His little passion in vehicles gradually developed into something greater than he could have ever imagined. When Ryan co-founded B&R Performance, an Oklahoma City auto repair and performance shop, his life was completely transformed. However, this was no average garage, rather it was a unique location where common cars were transformed into potent racing vehicles that were prepared to face the streets. The store gained a reputation for providing the greatest performance parts and enhancing automobiles. This was the ideal location for folks who wanted their automobiles to appear better and go quicker. Ryan saw this company as more than just a source of income, it fulfilled a dream. He combined his name Ryan with that of his business partner Billy Hayes to create the shop's moniker B&R Performance. Working together day and night, they gradually established a solid name in the racing community. Their garage worked on unique projects that required more attention to detail and expertise, as well as preparing strong cars for major races. Ryan was already succeeding with the shop before he began racing himself. He earned a respectable living there and honed the abilities that would make him famous in the future. Eventually, well-known racers like Freakin' Rickon and Jackie Knox brought their vehicles to B&R Performances. Ryan got a close-up look at the thrilling world of street racing by seeing these skilled racers and their formidable vehicles. It ignited a fresh flame within him. It didn't take long for Ryan to sense the allure of the racetrack, surrounded by swift vehicles and fearless competitors. Fixing cars was no longer his only goal. He also desired to race them. He became even more motivated to pursue his own racing goals after meeting well-known racers like Big Chief, whose real name is Justin Shearer. Ryan had new opportunities after joining the Street Outlaws. It provided him with the opportunity to demonstrate his abilities and made his talent visible to admire. His path from working quietly in a garage to competing on television is a stunning illustration of how passion, perseverance, and hard work can make modest goals come true. How did he join the Outlaws on the street? Furthermore, what risks are associated with street racing? Let's get started. Martin's journey to stardom as a street outlaw. It wasn't by accident that Ryan Martin ended up on Street Outlaws. His entry into the street racing scene developed gradually over time. Ryan was already establishing himself in minor local races before the TV cameras, loud engines, and blinding lights. He displayed his innate brilliance and keen driving abilities during those silent times under the stars. People observed his ability to drive his car with ease, his ability to remain composed under duress, and his unwavering resolve. It wasn't an easy decision for Ryan to finally decide to pursue his racing goals. It was a huge risk to leave the security of his garage and the consistent prosperity of his company. Ryan, however, was not one to back away from a fight. When the Street Outlaws team saw something unique in him and asked him to join the show, that bravery paid off. His years of experience working on powerful automobiles provided him an advantage no one could overlook. Despite the fact that he was newer to street racing than some of the other racers, Ryan had established himself by the second season of the show. His fearless driving and unwavering focus were immediately observed by fans. His well-known vehicle, the Fireball Camaro, quickly gained popularity as well. Ryan demonstrated that he was a true racer at heart, in addition to being skilled at auto repair. He was one of the show's emerging stars because of his strong character and passion for racing. But for Ryan, it meant more than simply medals and speed. He was aware of the dangers of street racing. Every race was dangerous, even with cameras present. Ryan always prioritized safety, keeping an eye out for other people and meticulously prepping his vehicle. He might have been spared more than once by that astute and kind attitude. As his notoriety increased, Ryan also utilized the stage to promote his company throughout our performance. The store kept shining, attracting racers and auto enthusiasts who trusted Ryan's abilities. Ryan Martin transformed his passion for cars into an exciting, stunning journey with perseverance, lofty goals, and a courageous spirit. Fans eagerly await each race to see what thrilling moment he will produce next. The unspoken risks associated with illicit street racing. When drivers compete for speed on public roadways, it's known as illegal street racing. With loud engines, swift cars and the wind whipping by, it may sound thrilling to some. However, there is a great deal of risk behind all that excitement, not only for the racers but also for anyone in their immediate vicinity. Street racing attracts a lot of people because of the rush it provides. It can be difficult to resist the loud noises, the speed, and the excitement of trying to outpace someone else. Racers frequently equip their vehicles with stronger engines, unique tires, and turbochargers to make them faster. To make the car lighter, some even take off unnecessary seats and parts. However, since the car is going so quickly, these modifications may make it more difficult to control. A horrible accident could result from a single tiny error. Most of these races take place behind closed doors. Drivers used online communications or friends to spread the information. Usually the races happen late at night on deserted roads, abandoned parking lots or peaceful highways. In order to race uninterrupted, racers occasionally block off portions of the route, but the police are constantly monitoring, no matter how cautious they are. Racers risk significant penalties, license suspension, automobile confiscation, or even jail time if they are detected. The danger that unauthorized street racing poses to others is among its worst aspects. Racing isn't supposed to happen on public roadways. Bicyclists, pedestrians, and regular drivers don't anticipate seeing cars suddenly speeding by. A severe accident might occur with just one failed stop sign or one incorrect turn. Unfortunately, innocent bystanders who were unrelated to the race are frequently injured in these collisions. The lack of safety in these races is another major issue. Drivers use seatbelts, fireproof suits and helmets when competing in professional races. If something goes wrong, there are qualified medical personnel on hand and safety walls. However, none of these safeguards apply in illegal races. Because they think their talents will keep them safe, some racers don't even wear seatbelts. In actuality though, no one is really safe when racing at such high speeds on public highways, regardless of how skilled a driver you are. The popularity of illegal street racing has increased due to social media. On the internet, videos of risky races can receive millions of views. Some racers even show off to their followers by live streaming their races. However, those videos hardly ever depict the consequences of mishaps, car wrecks, hurt drivers, and distraught families. Even though street racing is extremely dangerous, many people are nonetheless enticed to do it, especially young drivers. More legal racing tracks, according to some, would aid in the abolition of unlawful races. Racers can safely test their talents at locations like racetracks and drag strips. Strict regulations, protective clothing, and personnel prepared to assist in the event of an emergency are also features of these events. Despite Ryan's skill with the wheels, many people didn't appear pleased. How did he get through this? What difficulties did he encounter while on the show? Stay with us. Difficult Street Battles Outlaws set. Ryan Martin had extraordinary talent and a strong will for success when he joined Street Outlaws. His performances on the show were notable from the beginning. Ryan quickly began to advance in the organization. However, difficulties frequently accompany rapid achievement, and Ryan's path was no exception. The speed at which Ryan was rising began to worry some of the original 405 cast members who had been with the show from the outset. It was uncomfortable because they had established solid reputations over the years and a new face threatened their positions. Daddy Dave, a longtime fan favorite on the show, was one of the racers Ryan frequently faced. Ryan's abilities and his strong vehicle briefly knocked Daddy Dave off the top rank. Many people thought that Daddy Dave's ability to compete was impacted by the fact that he had previously lost his car in a serious accident. Despite that setback, however, Ryan's diligence, perseverance, and the superior gear he brought to every race were undeniable. He was a fierce competitor because of his determination, which not everyone liked. During the third round of the No Prep Kings Invitational Series, or NPK, at Palm Beach International Raceway, the conflict between Ryan and Daddy Dave erupted. Fans on both sides were excited to see who would win, making it one of the season's most anticipated races. However, a timing system glitch left it unclear who had won at the end of the race. When Daddy Dave was initially declared the winner, his fans erupted in cheers. But without a proper review, Ryan wasn't going to accept the outcome. Fortunately, the entire race was captured by the 360-degree camera in Ryan's vehicle. After a team of experts closely examined the video, it became evident that Ryan had a full car-length advantage when he crossed the finish line. The officials decided to reverse the initial decision and formally designate Ryan the winner in light of this fresh evidence. Ryan and his team had a moment of triumph, but the festivities were short-lived. Shortly after his victory, a few of the disgruntled racers banded together and set up Ryan's matchup with Chuck, another formidable opponent. Just 1 hour after Ryan had taken the lead in a race, Chuck defeated him and knocked Ryan back down the rankings. Ryan never gave up despite these ongoing difficulties, trying times, and heartbreaking defeats. He remained focused, resolute, and put up a lot of effort to demonstrate his worth as a street outlaw. Near misses on the track. Every driver in the realm of street racing eventually needs to deal with errors and collisions. There is always a risk, regardless of how cautious they are or how well prepared their vehicles appear to be. From the start, Ryan Martin was aware of this. He was aware that racing mishaps would happen when not if. His personal experience on the track has served as a stark reminder of the dangers associated with this sport. In 2022, Ryan experienced one of the most terrifying incidents of his career. Just 1 day before a major race, his well-known vehicle, Fireball, which was renowned worldwide for its strength and speed, began to exhibit symptoms of danger. Ryan and his group spent the entire night attempting to determine the cause of the issue. In an attempt to resolve the issue and prepare Fireball for the upcoming huge challenge, they inspected every component of the vehicle. The car wasn't in ideal condition despite their best efforts. Ryan, however, was adamant about racing. Ryan sat behind the wheel, intent on defeating his rival and winning the race when it finally started. Nobody could have predicted what was about to occur. Fireball abruptly caught fire just after the race began. People on the sidelines gasped in surprise as pieces of the automobile flew across the track. Everyone was worried about Ryan's safety and feared the worst. Fortunately, Ryan only suffered minor injuries after escaping the flaming car. A major catastrophe was averted because of the car's safety measures and the quick response of the safety team. One of Ryan's cameras was even destroyed in the collision, making it impossible to view exactly what transpired inside the vehicle. Ryan later recounted the incident, describing it as though a massive explosion had occurred, and he was instantly encircled by broken